Ethan Cole woke before sunrise every morning on the mining world of Arden 9. Cold wind moved through the metal stables while the giant cargo beasts rested behind heavy gates. Most people ignored Ethan as if he were invisible. To the traders and station guards, he was only a poor stable boy with dirty clothes and rough hands. Ethan never complained. He spent his days feeding the animals, cleaning the stable floors, and helping tired workers unload supplies from transport ships. Even though life was difficult, he stayed kind to everyone around him. Near the stables was an old mountain filled with broken ruins. People believed dangerous creatures once lived there long ago. Nobody entered the ruins anymore because strange lights and deep sounds sometimes came from inside the mountain during the night. One afternoon, Ethan met Clara Bennett outside the repair station. Clara was a young mechanic who repaired engines and mining equipment. Unlike most people, she treated Ethan like a real friend. "You should leave this place someday," Clara said while fixing a damaged engine part. "There is more waiting for you out there." Ethan smiled weakly. "People like me do not get lucky." Before Clara could answer, the ground suddenly shook hard beneath them. Alarms echoed across the colony. Workers shouted in fear while several cargo towers collapsed in the distance. Another earthquake followed, stronger than the first. Huge cracks opened across the mountain near the stables. Bright blue light poured from deep underground. Frightened workers ran away while soldiers rushed toward the ruins. That night, one of the cargo beasts escaped during the chaos. Ethan searched for it alone near the mountain tunnels. After several minutes, he found the animal standing beside a hidden opening inside the rocks. Curious and nervous, Ethan stepped inside. The tunnel led him deep underground into a giant chamber covered with glowing symbols. Old chains hung from the ceiling like frozen lightning. Then Ethan saw it. An enormous black dragon rested in the center of the chamber. Its scales looked like dark metal, and its golden eyes slowly opened. Fear rushed through Ethan's body. Inside his mind, he suddenly heard a calm, ancient voice. "You finally returned." Ethan stumbled backward in shock. "Who are you?" he whispered. "I am Kael'thar," the dragon answered. "Last guardian of the star dragons." Before Ethan could run away, the dragon slowly lowered its massive head before him. At that exact moment, armed soldiers entered the chamber behind Ethan. Commander Logan Price stared in disbelief as the ancient dragon bowed to a simple stable boy. The underground chamber became silent after the dragon bowed before Ethan. Soldiers raised their plasma rifles while Commander Logan stepped forward carefully. "Move away from the creature," Logan ordered. Ethan could barely speak. The giant dragon behind him was larger than any transport ship he had ever seen. Blue light moved slowly beneath its dark scales like flowing energy. "He is not your enemy," the dragon said inside Ethan's mind. Logan pointed his weapon at Kael'thar. "That thing is dangerous. Arrest the boy." Before the soldiers could move, Kael'thar spread his massive wings. Powerful wind threw several guards across the chamber floor. Glowing fire escaped from the dragon's mouth, forcing everyone backward. Ethan stood frozen. "Come with me," Kael'thar said. Suddenly the ground opened beneath them. Ethan and the dragon disappeared into deeper tunnels while the soldiers shouted above. Far below the ruins, Kael'thar brought Ethan into an ancient city hidden underground. Giant towers reached into darkness while glowing crystals lit the empty streets. Ethan stared in wonder. "This place is impossible," he whispered. Kael'thar explained that humans and dragons once fought beside each other thousands of years ago. Together they protected the galaxy from a machine empire called the Void Legion. After the Great War ended, the dragons entered deep sleep while human civilization slowly forgot the truth. "Your blood carries the mark of the first riders," Kael'thar explained. Ethan shook his head. "I am only a stable boy." "You are far more than that," the dragon answered. Above the ruins, the colony entered panic. Military ships arrived from nearby systems while people spread stories about the dragon. Clara secretly searched for Ethan near the tunnels. She finally found him standing beside Kael'thar inside the hidden city. Instead of fear, curiosity filled her eyes. "So the stories were real," she whispered. Kael'thar guided them deeper underground into a chamber filled with giant crystal eggs. Soft light glowed from inside each one. Then the crystals suddenly cracked. One after another, dragons emerged from the eggs. Silver dragons, red dragons, and creatures covered in shining blue scales slowly stepped forward. Ethan expected them to attack. Instead, every dragon lowered its head before him. Clara looked speechless. Outside the mountain, dark storm clouds gathered across the sky. Far beyond the outer colonies, ancient machine fleets hidden in deep space finally awakened after thousands of years. And for the first time since the Old War, the Void Legion detected living dragons once again. News about the dragons spread across nearby systems within days. Some people believed Ethan was a hero chosen by fate. Others feared the dragons would destroy humanity. Large military fleets surrounded Arden 9 while politicians argued across every communication network. Commander Logan demanded full control of the dragons, but Ethan refused to hand them over. "They are living creatures," Ethan said during a colony meeting. "Not weapons." Many leaders ignored him. While arguments filled the colony, danger moved closer through deep space. One night, emergency alarms suddenly echoed across Arden 9. People looked into the sky and saw enormous black ships descending through the clouds. Clara stared at the burning sky in horror. "The Void Legion found us." Machine warships attacked the colony without warning. Giant metal soldiers marched through the streets while laser fire destroyed buildings around the mining district. Fear spread everywhere. Ethan climbed onto Kael'thur's back as dragons rose into the air beside him. For the first time in his life, he felt truly powerful. Kael'thur crashed into an enemy ship with explosive force. Blue fire melted metal walls while smaller dragons attacked machine fighters across the sky. Below them, Clara helped civilians escape through underground tunnels. Jack Turner, a former colony guard, stayed behind to protect trapped workers during the invasion. While fighting beside Ethan, the dragons formed a strange mental connection with him. He could suddenly sense their thoughts and emotions. He realized they trusted him completely. However, the enemy leader soon appeared. An enormous machine surrounded by red energy descended from the largest warship. Its glowing eyes scanned the battlefield coldly. "I am Nexus Prime," the machine announced across every communication signal. "Organic life will now be erased." Many colony leaders surrendered immediately out of fear. Ethan refused. He gathered miners, pilots, mechanics, and ordinary civilians willing to fight back. Most of them had never held weapons before, but they followed Ethan because he gave them hope. During a brutal battle near the outer defense towers, Ethan saved hundreds of trapped civilians from collapsing buildings. People across the colony watched the stable boy risk his own life again and again. More dragons soon arrived from hidden worlds across the galaxy after sensing Kael'thur's call. For the first time, humanity fought beside dragons once more. But even with new allies, Ethan knew the war had only begun. Far beyond Arden 9, thousands of machine warships were already moving toward human space. After weeks of fighting, Ethan and the dragons barely held back the Void Legion attacks. Entire colonies had already fallen to Nexus Prime. Many human leaders wanted to surrender before more worlds were destroyed. Kael'thur believed there was still hope. He revealed the location of the ancient dragon empire hidden beyond a dangerous nebula filled with violent storms. According to old dragon history, powerful technology remained there from the First War. Ethan, Clara, Jack, and several dragon riders traveled through the nebula aboard an old battlecruiser. Lightning crashed against the ship while broken ruins floated silently through space. When they finally reached the hidden empire, everyone stared in amazement. Massive cities floated around a dying star. Giant dragon statues towered above ancient buildings made from glowing silver metal. Abandoned warships drifted between the ruins like ghosts. "This was once the center of dragon civilization," Kael'thur explained sadly. Inside the ancient capital, Ethan discovered records about the Old War. The dragons had not disappeared because they lost. They sacrificed themselves to trap Nexus Prime long ago. Humans survived because the dragons gave up everything. Clara searched through damaged control systems beneath the city. Eventually, she discovered an ancient defense network powerful enough to destroy the Void Legion fleet. "If we reactivate this system, we can stop Nexus Prime," she said. However, the system required energy from the dying star itself. Before they could prepare the defense network, betrayal struck. Commander Logan secretly contacted Nexus Prime. Believing humans could never win, He revealed the location of the hidden empire. Within hours, machine fleets entered the nebula. The final battle began. Dragons filled the skies while machine warships fired endless streams of red energy across the ancient city. Explosions shattered towers and sent burning debris into space. Jack led evacuation ships carrying civilians away from the ruins while Clara worked desperately to activate the defense system. During the battle, Kael'thar was captured by massive machine chains created by Nexus Prime. Ethan tried to save him, but enemy soldiers overwhelmed him. Nexus Prime stepped forward through smoke and fire. "Hope is weakness," the machine said coldly. Then the ancient city around them began collapsing into the dying star below. For the first time since the war started, Ethan truly feared humanity might lose forever. Fire and smoke covered the ancient dragon empire while machine ships surrounded the dying star. Damaged dragons fell from the sky as explosions shook the ruins apart. Huge pieces of broken towers drifted through space while the red lights of enemy warships filled the darkness around them. Ethan refused to surrender. Injured and exhausted, he escaped enemy soldiers with Clara and a small group of surviving riders. Deep beneath the ruined city, Clara continued repairing the ancient defense network hidden inside the ancient control chamber. Sparks flew around her while warning alarms echoed through the walls. "I can still activate it," Clara said while working quickly on the damaged controls. "But someone must connect the system directly to the star core." Ethan understood immediately. Whoever entered the core chamber might never return alive. Outside, Kael'thar remained trapped inside the giant machine fortress controlled by Nexus Prime. Without the ancient dragon, the remaining riders had little chance of surviving the battle. Jack Turner prepared the last human pilots for one final attack. Most of their ships were damaged, but nobody wanted to run anymore. "If this is the end," Jack said quietly, "then we fight together." Ethan climbed onto the back of a wounded silver dragon and flew directly toward the enemy fortress through heavy fire. Machine fighters chased him across the burning sky while explosions lit the darkness around him. Several dragons sacrificed themselves to protect Ethan as he forced his way through the enemy fleet. Inside the fortress, Ethan finally confronted Commander Logan. The commander looked tired and broken after weeks of war. "You still believe hope can save humanity?" Logan asked bitterly. "Machines do not fear pain or death." Ethan stepped closer calmly. "That is exactly why they will never understand us," he answered. The two fought through the burning control room while alarms screamed around them. In the end, Ethan defeated Logan but refused to kill him. Even after everything, he would not become cruel like the enemy. Moments later, Ethan freed Kael'thar from the massive machine chains. The ancient dragon rose slowly, wounded but alive. Then the walls shook as Nexus Prime appeared before them surrounded by red energy. "Humanity survives because it refuses to accept reality," the machine declared coldly. "No," Ethan answered. "Humanity survives because it never stops fighting." Kael'thar roared and charged forward beside Ethan. Outside the fortress, Clara finally activated the ancient defense network hidden beneath the city. Bright blue energy spread through the ruins and flowed directly into the dying star itself. Suddenly, thousands of dragons across the galaxy answered the signal. Massive dragon fleets appeared from hyperspace and surrounded the Void Legion from every direction. Fire filled the stars as dragons attacked machine warships across the battlefield. The final battle shook the galaxy. Ethan and Kael'thar fought their way into the center of the fortress while the defense network released enormous waves of energy through enemy fleets. One by one, machine ships exploded into burning metal. Nexus Prime tried to escape, but Ethan and Kael'thar flew directly into the machine core together. With one final blast of blue dragon fire, the machine empire was destroyed forever. Silence slowly spread across space. The war had finally ended. Months later, peace returned to the galaxy. Humans and dragons rebuilt broken colonies together while trade routes reopened across the stars. Old enemies formed new alliances, and children once again looked at the skies without fear. Ethan eventually returned to the quiet stables on Arden 9. He never asked for power or glory. He remained the same humble stable boy who once cleaned stable floors while dreaming of a better life. But whenever dragons passed above the colony skies, they always lowered their heads toward him in respect. Because the galaxy would never forget the stable boy the ancient dragons chose to follow.